Welcome everyone to today's live stream, episode 7 of our Baldur's Gate 3 Barbarian gameplay series. I'm Commander Jorval and I want to thank you for coming along on our journey today as always. So, on some administrative notes, we've had a lot more information drop about patch 9. We're expecting here in a couple of weeks to get a new panel from Hell from Larian Studios, and we're expecting to have patch 9 drop relatively quickly after that. There's been a lot of speculation about what's going to come with patch 9, but Larian gave everybody a pretty big hint with their Twitter post that pretty much gave out that it's going to be a paladin class that we're going to be getting in patch 9. So, as for this playthrough, again, we're going to wait and see what the full set of patch notes come out to explain. But for now, I think we're going to be pretty well locked in to continuing our Barbarian gameplay live streams under patch 8 after patch 9 drops. If patch 9 is really mainly just dropping the paladin class, we're obviously not focusing on that class here at this time, so I won't spend the time to replay all of what we've done so far in my own time to get us caught back up to where we are now so that I could be playing in patch 9. But again, we'll have to see. There might be some major overhauls to other things in the patch notes. So we'll just kind of play it by ear and see. But for now, I think just on initial reporting of what's going to be there, I think we're probably going to end up just continuing in patch 8. And the next playthrough after that may be a paladin playthrough, and we'll be upgrading to patch 9 to do that. But again, we'll just kind of wait and see. We'll play it by ear, and once the patch notes come out, we'll take it from there, and we'll get your input as well to take a look at it and see what we want to do. So on to a recap. In our last live stream, we worked our way through the Necromancer's Cave and the Whispering Depths. We managed the combat with the Thay Spider Matriarch really well and picked up the Amethyst. And now we're at a point where we can get the Necromancy of Thay book opened and dealt with. And at the end of last episode, I asked for you guys to leave comments and to let me know which way you wanted to go with it. And it really turns out that since we have another way of casting Speak with the Dead, that we're going to just give the Necromancy of Thay to Gale and let him absorb the weed. But we'll go ahead, and I think on that we're going to start out the live stream with that, and then we're going to continue on exploring the area around the Blighted village and head up to the cave and another combat up there, and then the Tollhouse, and do some explorations there as well as getting into some combat up there as well. So I think without any further ado, we'll just go ahead and jump right in, and we'll kind of explain the Necromancy of Thay and how it works and what happens with it here as soon as we start. So okay, so here we are. When we left off last time, we had temporarily brought Gale into our party, and we were doing that so that we could have an interaction with him about the Necromancy of Thay. So we have the Amethyst and we have the Necromancy of Thay here. So what we're going to do is move both of these over to Gale. And I guess while we're here, we can level Gale up to level 4. Really leveling up the wizard gives you some options, but it's really about your spell choices. So we can get one more cantrip to use. Acid Splash is again a ranged damage type of thing, as well as Chill Touch, another ranged damage thing. We also have Light and Dancing Lights that you can cast, which are very useful in combat, especially in non-lit up areas, to gain or to give some of your characters advantage on their attacks, or negate disadvantage, I guess should be a better way of saying that. Because the targets are no longer obscured and that sort of stuff. So it doesn't really matter. We're not going to be playing Gale in this playthrough here. So it doesn't really matter what we choose here. Now, as far as the level 2 spells that we now have access to, Web is always incredibly useful. Flaming Sphere is another one that I like. Both of these are concentration spells. And you would really prefer normally to have one concentration spell and one non-concentration spell. But in this case, they're just both very, very useful. So that's what I tend to use. So as far as preparing things after that, I normally remove Fog Cloud and add Web in there, and I remove Chromatic Orb and I add Flaming Sphere. So that's kind of how it works. I think there's a decent mix here between concentration and non-concentration spells, but we are one heavier on the concentration side. But again, doesn't really matter for this. Now, as far as the feat goes, we do have some additional feats that you can choose in here. We do have a Magic Initiate Wizard here, which basically lets you pick an additional cantrip and pick a spell that you can cast for free once per long rest, basically. I don't think it's a great magic-based feat to pick, so I think ability improvement is still probably the best way to go here. And if you're looking at Gale's stats, base stats, his intelligence is 16. So you probably just want to take and put both of those into there to get him up to an 18. But now what we want to do is we have both of those on Gale. He's in our party. So we want to... Actually, I think what we want to do is move both of these back here, and we'll open up the book, or we'll deal with the book interaction, and then we'll not read it, and then we'll have a conversation with Gale. So let's just go ahead and do that. So
the book is locked tight with no visible keyhole. Only an oval recess in the cover's mouth. You try to examine the book, but the longer you stare, the more those piercing amethyst eyes draw you in.
Curious. Why don't you take a closer look? I'll observe from back here.
That looks terribly heavy. Why don't you let me carry it for you?
I have my fair share of experience with dangerous books. I'll take that off your hands into more prepared ones.
okay, so here you have some options here, and actually what I want to do is I want to look at something first. I haven't tried this before, so we're gonna put the book away for now. And okay, so the amethyst is worth a lot of money, worth a lot of gold. So let's see if Gale can... actually, I don't know if we'll be able to sell the dark amethyst because it's a quest item. That might not allow us to sell it. But let's see. Let's see if we can take the book and give it to Gale now.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
Okay, so here's the option here. Have a magical artifact you'll be interested in.
That is most gratifying to hear. May I?
So we can give him the Necromancy of Thay.
We'll need to find a way to unlock the book first.
Okay. So you have to unlock it, so you have to use the amethyst.
I urge you to reconsider. There could be consequences beyond our ken. Please.
Okay, so we do have to utilize the amethyst and open the book first.
The book
So
is
we'll
a
just
good
fast
guide
forward
to
through
try to
this.
examine.
Okay, so we're going to place the amethyst into the book. Okay, so now we can give the book away to Gale and that sort of stuff, but for now I'm just going to put the book away. And now I can have an interaction with Gale and see if he'll take
What's
the
on
book
your
now.
mind? That is most gratifying to hear. May I? Thank you. I can feel the storm abating. Yes, this will keep my condition in check for a precious while. It's hard to predict the effect any given artifact has, but my condition is hardly a patient one. Rather soon I will feel it stir again, like a distant thunder sending tremors through the soul. I will need to consume another artifact before the lightning strikes. There's no choice but to find more. In the meantime, my thanks again. My lord, I bow to your boundless kindness.
Okay, so we can look at our journal here and we can see what happened. So we did search the cellar. We unlocked the book, but we didn't read it. We entrusted the book to someone in our party, and that evil book has been destroyed because Gale used it to absorb the weave. And here you can see that we gave Gale the book to absorb, and he went ahead and did that. So the Necromancy of Thay, what does it do? Well, basically when you read it, you have 3 skill checks you have to pass. There's an intelligence check at the start, and then there are 2 wisdom checks after that. The intelligence check starts out at a DC 10, the wisdom check is DC 15, and the second wisdom check is DC 20. So, incredibly hard to pass, but if you do manage to pass all 3 checks, then whoever opened and read the book and passed all those checks is granted the 3rd level spell, Speak with the Dead, to be able to cast it for free. And in our case, we already have an amulet that we can do that with, the Amulet of Lost Voices. So we have the ability to cast Speak with the Dead for free anyway, right now, with whoever's in our party. We don't necessarily have to equip it. We can leave it unequipped, and then when we get to a situation where we want to speak with the dead, we can equip it and then cast it. So we have all of those options available to us through the Amulet of Lost Voices, and don't need it through the Necromancy of Thay. My last playthrough, I read the Necromancy of Thay and managed to pass all of the checks, and it was granted to my ranger. And that way I didn't have to ever need the amulet for anything. I didn't have to worry about swapping it in and out of my inventory. But in this case, it's not that big a deal. You don't run into, that many chances to cast Speak with the Dead. But if we do, it's always in non-combat situations, so not a big deal just to swap over to the amulet and cast it. So it allowed us to give Gale his first artifact and also finish the quest for destroying the book. So not a big deal. So what we need to do, however, is remove Gale from the party.
I question the wisdom of that decision, but so be it. I'll be here in the meantime, idling away the hours.
And we need to put Will
Discussion.
Well met.
Ah, that's the spirit.
back in the party. Okay. So this is our current lineup that we have. Going to be the lineup that we utilize through most of the playthrough here as we go. So now with that being done and our conversations being finished, I think we're just going to head up and grab our camp supplies. So we've got 30 in wine, 40 with that. Okay, and we'll just go ahead and take a long rest here. Okay, so here we are back where we left off after we had cleared out our inventory for the most part and are ready to move on. We will go ahead and get Will, no pun intended, mage armored up. He already has his imp out and ready for us, so I think with that we are ready to go exploring. And you can see that we've obviously cleared out all of the grove. We have an option to free Saza still, and we're going to utilize that, but just not right now. So the Blighted Village, you can look at where we were exploring last time. We've explored to the north, but we do have a bridge here that we can cross to get up farther into this area. Okay. We also have a way down here to the south and to the southeast that we can explore. And we have some other places down here that are going to get into further quests that we can deal with. So I think what we're going to do here is kind of finish exploring around the outskirts of the village and open up the remainder of the areas that will lead us into these other main quest areas. And then we're probably going to head north across the bridge, but we'll take a look when we get there and see. So for now, I'm going to head to the Blighted Village. Okay. And we're just going to head out here and kind of open up this section of the map. So we're going to head south out this way,
Be on my way.
because we have looted and cleared out all of the Blighted Village. Okay, so we're going to come out here and just explore this area down here and open up the rest of the map out here in these locations. See what we find. Okay, we do have some camp supplies here we can pick up. Okay, and let's can't remember if there's something here. Yeah, there is a perception check. Okay.
What's that?
So we did pass it. Okay, so let's take a look in here. So we have some gold and we have a lot of camp supplies. Always good. During the Barbarian playthrough, you're going to be going to camp quite a bit more than with some of the other playthroughs. So always good to have more camp supplies. Okay. So now coming over here, you can see that we have another encounter waiting for us down here. And it looks like Auntie Ethel, who we met back inside the grove, is down here. So we'll kind of head down around this way. And we're going to take Will as our leader here. Kind of head down around this area. Okay, we have some more camp supplies.
Enough.
And we can go ahead and deal with this encounter now
Just want Marina
while we're here. We have some more camp supplies over here.
Lads, for the love of all that is holy, I've never clapped eyes on your poor sister.
Drop the act, hag. You was the last to see Marina.
Just let her go. Please.
You there? Please, I don't know what's come over these
Okay,
boys.
so-
I just want to go home.
Stop this. We won't ask again.
So it selected her to do this instead of Will, because she was the closest person to the encounter when it started. So that's my fault. I'm not going to have all the bonuses from charisma here to do this encounter, but we'll see what happens.
Careful! Don't trust a word out of her mouth. Our sister went to the hag, and we ain't seen her since.
Hand over heart, I don't know their sister. I will gladly help you all look for her, though.
Enough. Where is she?
Okay, so the insight check that we failed explains what a hag is and where you've heard of them. They have the ability to cloak their appearance, and through some of the other interactions that we've seen with Auntie Ethel, we're pretty sure that not everything's on the up and up with her. But this is the first opportunity you have to be able to take a side here, so to speak. If you don't know, it's not going to affect much of what happens during this section of the playthrough, except what happens with these two characters that we're dealing with right now. So, as having done these playthroughs before, I know what Auntie Ethel is, so I'm going to side with the two brothers and find out.
Bollocks! You were supposed to rush to my defense, love. Fat lot of good you are. Some advice? You ever darken my door, you'd best have that head bowed and an apology at the ready. Bye-bye now.
Bloody hells. She just disappeared. Ain't seen nothing like that before.
She could shoot fireworks out of her backside for all I care. The hag has Rena!
It's our sister, Marina. Well, she was in a bad way after her husband died.
Started saying weird things, like how she was gonna bring him back.
Next thing, she's gone looking for the hag. Of all the stupid things to do. And we haven't seen her since. And no good ever came from dealing with a hag.
None of this matters, all right? We need to get her back, and fast! Are you joking? I ain't got a clue who you are. No way I'm leaving Rena to you.
But, Joel...
Not a chance. We're getting her back on our own. Now, come on.
Okay. So these two are heading off to try and find their sister. And it sounds like there's probably some bad things happening with Auntie Ethel and her sister. And we'll be exploring more of that quest line as we move into the quote-unquote sunlit wetlands, which are down here to the south. But for now, we're going to continue opening up more of this area. You can see that we're now getting to that same exit from the Blighted Village. Okay, so we're just moving around, opening up these sections of the map. Okay, so we did find the dirt mound here. Alright, so let's check and see what's in it. Okay, so some potions. Potion of invisibility, potion of healing, always very, very good to have. Send all of these camp supplies out to our camp. The grease bottle's going to go to Astarion, as well as the arrows. Okay. Fleet Fingers we'll talk about here in a second, and a Smoke Powder Bomb. Okay, so let's look at our inventory. We now have a Smoke Powder Satchel that does 12 to 21 damage, and we have a Smoke Powder Bomb that does 12 to 21 damage. So they both do the same things, they just act in different ways. The Smoke Powder Charge, you throw it and then you have to ignite it. The Smoke Powder Bomb, you throw it and it explodes on impact. That's really the difference. The other difference is that one weighs 0.3 pounds and the other one weighs 5 pounds. So it's pretty hard to carry these around. But force damage is one of the least resisted types of damage so far in early access. And to be honest, is probably going to be one of the least resisted types of damage throughout the full version of the game once it's released. So it can be incredibly useful, especially with high damage like this. So we also picked up Fleet Fingers. Now, once per turn after the wearer dashes, they can jump without using a bonus action. So basically, we're already going to be dashing to get lightning charges from speedy light feet. But we can also, once we've cast dash, or once we're using dash and gaining lightning charges, we can run up a certain distance, and then since we're already dashing, we can use the jump without using a bonus action, and then we can utilize that bonus action if we're raging to do a frenzied strike. So the combination of Fleet Fingers and Speedy Light Feet is going to allow us to use dash to gain lightning charges, which is going to give us bonuses to hit and all of that sort of stuff to help offset our Great Weapon Master feat. But then Fleet Fingers in combination with the dash is going to let us move even farther by being able to utilize a jump to get where we want to go without using a bonus action. And then at the end of all of that traveling, we can still make an attack with Frenzied Strike. So there's no reason not to utilize these in conjunction with each other at this point. So I'm just going to obviously leave them equipped here. Now, as far as the rest of this goes, I think I'll just go ahead and put these here. The inventory system in early access kind of drives me a little crazy, but that's just going to give him strength saving throws +1. Astarion doesn't have great strength, so that gives him a +1 to any of those checks anyway. So, alright, so a very valuable chest for us to pick up there. And we'll go ahead and continue on looking through this area and seeing if there's anything else that we want to deal with back here. So up here takes us up to the main entrance where we were. So this just connects to the other entrance of the Blighted Village. So we can continue on around this way. Get down here and... Okay, nothing else to open up down here. Okay, so now we'll continue on back down the way that we were, and we'll head around. We know that this is the sunlit wetlands down here. So we're going to continue around to the west side and explore more over there on that side. And we will be coming back to the sunlit wetlands, of course, just not right this second. Okay, so let's go exploring around this way. See, we've got a makeshift bridge here we can cross.
I'm coming as fast as I... Drow? What do they... Hello?
Hey, I wonder why he mentioned Drow. Don't know as if I've seen that interaction before. This area over here is going to take us into the goblin camp. Which, again, we are going to do, but it's going to be much later on in the playthrough. So... Alright, so Gale has something to say, or Will has something to say to us here, so let's see what he has.
Hello, hello. Oh, that. Just preparing my war cry. I'm coming as fast as I can. Needs a bit of work, I reckon. I haven't been exactly forthcoming. I've got a reason of my own for going after the goblins. You know my missing eye? That's goblin work. There. I was still a whelp when a goblin bruiser named Spike ripped it out of my skull. And I've got reason to think he's holed up in that camp. So don't go beheading every goblin you see. At least not till I finish my business with Spike.
Okay, so that's what that was for. This is my first playthrough having Will in the party, and now I realize why that triggered. It triggered because we got within a certain proximity of the goblin camp up here. And I knew about his eye from previous playthroughs, so maybe there's some interactions that are going to get opened up from an item that we're going to pick up by having Will in our party when we go through the goblin camp. Because previous playthroughs I have not had Will in my party. And this way heads over to the goblin camp, but again, we're not going to be doing that right now. So, just go open up sections of the map up here. Make sure we've explored everything. Whoops, pick up some more camp supplies over here. And some more here.
Wish I had a bag of holding.
Okay, this gets us back where we were, and we can see something up here. Okay, so we can loot Arca here. Okay, so Canon we've seen before. Let's see if we have an option to cast Speak with the Dead. We do.
Cum mortuis in lingua mortua.
The corpse remains silent.
Okay, so nothing gained from it. But we now have the Speak with the Dead spell active, quote-unquote. So anything that we can cast it on and get a conversation with is going to show up outlined in green on our map to make it easier. Okay, so this way leads to the Goblin Camp. This way leads to the Sunlit Wetlands, which is where we're going to encounter the Hag and that sort of stuff. And also a side quest down here with the Twisted Tree. But for now, we're going to head up here across this bridge, and that's our last option here on where to go. So we're going to head up northwest, actually, and cross that bridge and head into a new area up there. It's always interesting in your playthroughs to have different characters in different playthroughs, because like I say, it's going to open up other dialogues and other opportunities to interact with the quests that you might not be familiar with. So it's always interesting on these playthroughs to go through that. So okay, so we can come up here to the edge of the bridge, and I'm pretty sure everybody can make this jump. Why is Astarion not with it? I have no idea.
Moving.
Again, that's something that you kind of have to watch out for. It's not anything new in early access. Why is he Oh, he's encumbered. Really? Okay. He's still encumbered. Okay, so the spider egg sac is probably going to be his undoing, but he's not encumbered now. He has the least strength of anybody in the party, so let's see if he can make this jump. I think everybody can. Yeah. Okay. So now we can just begin exploring up here. Hammer, don't need it, and I'm actually going to save here. And now we are officially into the Risen Road. So you can see we opened up some hyenas that are sitting over here. And that's going to go into a combat situation that we're going to open up here in a little bit. But for now you can see that they're non-hostile. So some more salame melee weapons. Still have to do a fight with a piece of salami. Gonna be awesome. Okay, so we'll just keep continuing on up this way and looting things as we go. Always good to have more camp supplies. And we're finding a lot of them with high values on them too, which is great. Okay, the trap disarm toolkit. This is going to overload Astarion. So let's just take the spider egg sac and move it off of him for now. Okay, and we do have some wine bottles down here just laying on the ground that we can pick up. Okay, so now we'll take a look in here. Send these all to camp. I think we have a cup down here on the ground. Nothing that we want to look at though. We do have a book. Okay. Basically nothing serious here. We can pick it up. Okay, nothing else on alt. So continuing on around, we have some camp supplies here. Now you can see that we're approaching a different area here that has this burned out area up here. And we are going to explore that area, just not right this second. Okay, so we're going to head around this way. And in doing so, we're going to kind of skirt the outside of this area here. But like I say, we will be coming back to it. We're just not going to go through it in full right now. What we can do, however...
Smoke. Something's burning.
Is we're going to split the group. We're going to have Astarion cast guidance on himself. And he's going to move up here. See if he can make a perception check. And he failed. So we're going to try it here. Okay, so that was successful. So there's a jagged rock here, which you can move out of the way. And now you can reach into the rocky crevice here. Some gold, another trap disarm kit, some potions of healing, scrolls that we will send off to Will and Shadowheart. These tools always useful, and the parchment. Now you can read the parchment. Okay. And it just basically says that, as always, take what you need to stock up. This is for everyone, so it's free to take it. It's just a little hidden stash back here. And there's also another shovel back here. In case you don't have one for your travels, which you always should be carrying one. So now we'll head up this section of the Risen Road, and you can see we have something highlighted here. These are not hyenas. Okay? These are gnolls. An entirely different, but yet related enemy here. And we're going to put everybody into hide mode. And you can see they're hostile, so if they see us, they are instantly going to become hostile. And we're going to kind of position our characters here differently. We're going to break the group. And we're going to put our Barbarian here.
On the prowl, shall we? The element of surprise.
Okay, you can see where their perception cones are at.
There is work to do. Better tread carefully.
Okay, so I'm going to move Darian a little bit farther out here. Move Will into this location. Okay. And I'm going to start this, I'm going to initiate this with Astarion. And you'll find fairly quickly that the perception cones are kind of glitched out a little bit when you get up into this area. Okay, so I'm in hiding right now. So if I have a sneak attack ranged, okay, I'm a little bit too far away to get it from there. Okay, but here I have advantage because I'm in hiding. So I can go ahead and trig this off. You can see that we have some 18 hit point and 20 hit point, but the Gnoll Fang is the one that you want to concentrate on here. So I'm going to go ahead and trigger this combat with a sneak attack ranged against him. Okay, we one-shot him. Oh, great. Critical hit. Nice. Okay. So, the reason that I triggered it with him is, one, you can get some really big damage in with a ranged sneak attack, but also because he has high dexterity, so his initiative roll should be really good. Here, he must have just rolled horrifically bad on initiative. So, what we're going to do is we're going to now move the rest of our characters into combat. And I'm going to do that by flanking around behind everyone with my Barbarian. Okay, and now I have a chance here, but I'm going to up that chance. I think what I'm actually going to do... Both of these are ranged characters. This one, the Gnoll Fleshgnawer, is not. So these two are going to stay at range. That one down there is not. So I think what I'm going to do... See if I can get myself into a position here where I can try and do a ranged attack on the Fleshgnawer here and get myself into combat. Okay, so he's now joined the fight, which is good, because what I'll end up doing is dashing into this fight when I rage next time. So now I want to get Will into this, and I think what I'm going to do is just cast Hex to start with. Going to hex his strength. Make sure, yeah. Okay, so now he's involved in it. I can't move into here with the imp without getting the imp directly into combat, even if I fly. I'm going to move the imp down here and have him focus on this hunter over here. By trying to get a sting here. Okay. So, wow. Didn't trigger combat. Alright. I don't know if this is broken. Looks like it's broken. Yeah, I don't think you should be able to do this. But just in case Larian's watching the playthrough. Yeah, I don't think you should be able to do that. I think that when you hit him, it should enter you into combat. For some reason, I don't know if the imp is just broken, or if there's something else about that encounter that broke it. But yeah, you shouldn't be able to do that. Okay, so we've looted here. We'll check out the Gnoll Hunter. Now we'll start looking through these corpses. Okay, some gold and some camp supplies. You can see the Gnolls have had a field day here. Okay, just looking around. Search the rib cage. Okay. So another body here. Okay, and now we can look at... Okay, so nothing there. So we can cast it on the Gnolls. I don't think anything works on the Gnolls. Yeah. Okay. So now down here are the hyenas that we found earlier. And the reason I said that Gnolls and hyenas are related is that the way that Gnolls reproduce is by infecting hyenas, and the hyenas then transform into Gnolls. So they are related to each other, but they're obviously not the same thing. So these hyenas down here are having some problems. You can see a bunch of them are bloated, which means that they are going to be transforming into hyenas. So what we want to do is take care of this. We're going to break the party again.
Need to keep focused.
And we're going to position people kind of strategically around here.
Stay low.
And again, we're going to start this combat off with Astarion.
Not a sound. On the prowl. Waiting.
And we're going to have our Barbarian kind of in reserve over here so that he can go charging in when this combat starts. Oh. Let's go ahead and trigger this fight. Okay, so again, with a sneak attack ranged. Okay. So we did not enter into combat again with that since it was a one hit. So we can just continue on with that. As long as we keep hiding. And you can see they changed into Gnolls. Okay. So now I'm going to trigger off the combat. Just a bunch of one hits. Okay. So it did exit out of combat. So I need to have advantage against them, which I don't at this point. So now you can see that where I am right now with the Barbarian is I'm not going to be able to get into combat without taking the long way around and going about this. So I'm not going to worry about that as much. What I am going to do is kind of maneuver Shadowheart down here. See, he's got an 85% chance to hit here. Okay, so now she's joined in. And Will... Don't know if he's going to be able to reapply his Hex from here. Oh, he can. Okay, so this is going to enter him into combat.
Here goes nothing.
And now the Imp, again, I can just move him down there. I can just fly him down in to this area, and hopefully... Okay, so I can't fly from up there, so I'll move him down here. And hopefully the Gnolls will then waste attacks on him instead. Okay, yeah, something's seriously wrong with the Imp. So I'm going to stop abusing the Imp. Because, yeah, something is seriously wrong with how the Imp is operating right now. Okay. I'm going to sneak down here and just try and do a main hand attack against the newborn Gnoll. I don't need to waste a rage charge on this. Okay, so I'm going to head back up here and just group everybody back up. Now we can go about looking around what's down here and just taking care of some exploration and looting down here. So more camp supplies. There's a pile of bones, and we'll just start here and work our way down the road. Okay. More items that we'll be able to sell here. Okay, we do have, and don't forget you've got a fire-wiring barrel down here. So if you shoot this, or you use a flaming spell against it or something like that, you have the option to cause some explosive damage around this area. The range I don't think is large enough to get to all of the stuff that's down here, but it can be utilized if you come up from this side and they approach you that way. Okay, so none of the hyenas are going to have anything from what I remember here. Okay, so we'll take those poisons and then send the rest of these supplies to camp. Now you can see that we have a body over there that is glowing with a green outline. That lets you know that you're able to cast Speak with the Dead on it and have an actual conversation with it. So after you've got it, after you've cast it the first time, then you're going to have these green outlined figures here. So we're going to cast Speak with the Dead here.
The corpse regards you lifelessly.
Nose, tearing, biting, tavern, hideout, secret, wizard's shipment, chest, Rugan protected it, took it, north,
can ask no more questions.
Okay, so this is going to give us a new side quest here, find the missing shipment. And we learned in that there was a chest that a wizard wanted, and that during the fighting someone named Rugan took it and made off with it. He's protecting it. He didn't just steal it, but he is protecting it, and we don't know much else other than that right now. So here at this point we have a way to get down here to this bottom area, and that bottom area extends all the way over here and comes up this way. So we have another way to get down there. So instead of kind of hopping down at the midpoint here, I'm going to come back and explore all of this in one straight shot all the way through. Cool. So down here you can see we have a whole lot of camp supplies just laying on the ground. Okay, so we're just going to pick all of them up, and then we'll send them all to camp at once here. Okay, and we also have some bags that we can click on, but nothing available in them. Basket we can search with some apples. Okay, we also have some more camp supplies up here. Have another trunk, which has some more camp supplies. Okay. And then we come up to this intersection here. So you have a way to head down this way into this area, and you can see we're getting toward something called the Tollhouse. Okay. You also, and this will lead you across the bridge to the Tollhouse. You also have the opportunity to explore up this way and get into an area that looks like it's got some tracks here, a flaming area, and some stuff like that. So what we're going to do, I think, is we're probably going to look into maybe taking care of the Tollhouse first, since that's kind of already here and along our way. So I think we'll do that. We'll explore this area down here, pick up some items, and then we'll head off and look at the other cave area. So I'm going to cast guidance on Astarion here and have him lead up here. Okay, and he failed it. So I'm going to cast this on Will. I'll break the group so that people don't keep wandering around. Okay, he failed it as well. So last chance is for Shadowheart. Okay, so everybody failed it. There is a dirt mound here, but since no one was able to perceive it, we can't go loot it. You can see that there's a dead toll collector down here. Got some gold, but we can also cast Speak with the Dead on him.
The corpse regards you lifelessly.
Toll collector. Jumped to escape. Broken. Gold basement. Locked. I
questions.
Okay, so Vance was trying to get away from something, and he jumped off of here and died in the fall, and when he was doing that, he dropped a key. So, if you hold the Alt key, you don't see anything. Okay, but as I said, it's always a good idea just to click Alt every once in a while you're walking around. Because once you get to this point, the toll collector's key shows up on using the Alt key. And if you're just sitting here looking at it, you might not see it. We'll play Where's Waldo? Who can spot the key? Okay. If you zoom in, however, you can see it right there. Okay. But when you're zoomed out, you can see it disappears. It's right there, but it just disappears. Okay. So that's why holding Alt is so critical every once in a while to opening up new things and finding things. Okay. So now we're going to continue on down this way, and we've got a pile of bones here. Okay, it's got a dagger in it. And the eagle-eyed amongst you will have already seen Karlach over here. So we'll go ahead and
Defender of the people.
And start this encounter.
Could come in handy.
Hold up! One more step and I'll put a bolt through your eye! No sudden movements or you're dead. You looking for me? Hurt or not, I won't miss. Lung, heart, arse, or eye. Take your pick. Tell me what you're doing here. Now.
Okay, so I have the Berserker Intimidation option here. With advantage and +2, or I can do persuasion, which I have nothing. So I tried to get Will to do this. I'm not entirely sure what's going on with the characters that I have here. He was obviously the closest one to this. Or did I approach using him and not Will for some reason? I'll have to replay the footage and look. But for now, my only real option here is to use the Intimidation option. Okay, so it gets me a +2 bonus. I can add in guidance. DC's only 5 and I have advantage. So they want you to pass this. But I could roll a 1 and a 2 here. And possibly, well, if I roll a 2, I'll pass it. So I could roll a couple of 1s here. But we'll see. Okay, both of those would have passed. Even the 2 would have given me a 5, because I can only roll a minimum of a 1.
If you bite as hard as you bark, we might get along. I might even have a job for you. I'm in a tight spot. I might not be able to get out of it alone. All right. Come on over here. But fair warning, you might find this hard to believe. I'm a fugitive. I escaped the Hells, and the bastards who are holding me there are trying to take me back. Do you find this funny?
As she winces, agony shoots through you, as if your bodies share the same wound. Then you're lost in visions of demonic armies as you tear through a landscape of fire and blood, the Blood War. You saw it from above as the Nautiloid passed through Avernus. This woman was on the front line.
Stoker! What was that? You were inside my head. Hold on a minute. You were on that ship with the tentacles and the worms. I didn't think anyone else had survived. I boarded in Avernus. That ship was my way out. You're lucky I did. The place would have been crawling with cultists if I'd stuck around. And they'd have dragged us all back to Avernus. I was a prisoner, forced to fight in the Blood War. The eternal battle between bad and worse. Most souls in Avernus are just meat for the grinder, but not me. I held my own. More than. Turns out that I've got a knack for killing demons. And I enjoy it. And that made me a valuable asset. Devils don't like to lose their assets. Yeah, not far from here. Gang of cultists cornered me in an abandoned Tollhouse. I took out a couple, but I need them all dead. Make 'em scream. I come with you just to see them bleed, but I'm too busy bleeding myself. I'll be here when you're done. Did you get the bastards? Did you get the bastards?
Okay. Alright, so the interaction with Karlach there exposed a few things. And it's good to have this interaction before you go up to the Tollhouse. Because Karlach kind of explains some stuff here. He explains that, as we learned earlier, the Tollhouse keeper was trying to get away from something and died while he was trying. But Karlach explains that the people who are now up at the Tollhouse are trying to kill her. And it's kind of leading you to start to believe that maybe the people up at the Tollhouse aren't all they seem to be. And it turns out that that is true. They are not. So now we can we're going to head down and explore this area that we talked about earlier down here by the river. But then we're going to head up to the Tollhouse, and this is going to give us kind of the way that we want to explore this or deal with this encounter. So we'll go ahead and come down this way. Okay, there's almost a hidden skeleton here, which you do not want to miss. Because it has the smuggler's ring in it. So, the smuggler's ring that we just gave to Astarion here gives you a stealth +2 bonus and sleight of hand +2 bonus. But it gives you a charisma -1. You look at Astarion, his charisma is 10, so he's getting just no pluses or minuses to any charisma ability checks. But if he puts this on, he's going to be having a negative to his skill checks on his charisma. But that doesn't really matter for Astarion. We're not going to be utilizing him to do persuasion checks or that sort of stuff. What it did do was just give him a +2 to stealth and a +2 to sleight of hand. So as hard as it was for him to fail lockpicking and trap disarming, it's even more hard to fail that sort of stuff. So you don't want to miss this ring. For any main character, if you're playing a rogue yourself and you're instituting a lot of the conversations to try and persuade people, it can be a negative. So you want to unequip it when you're going into conversations and then re-equip it when you're just wandering around. But for Astarion, there's no need to do that. It's just a straight bonus for him that you want to always equip. So while we're here, let's go ahead and clean up some of our inventory and send these camp supplies off and declutter a few things here, because we did pick up a lot of camp supplies. And we don't want any of that either taking up space or taking up carry weight while we're here. So we'll just go ahead and send all of this to camp. And we also did pick up this open letter. So it is a letter to the editor of a Baldur's Bash tabloid in Baldur's Gate, probably. And it's talking about some stuff that we don't, really have any access to as part of this section of the early access. But maybe at some point it will become important. So we are going to move some other things over to Will here. All the things that we're going to be selling, we're just going to move over to Will until his carry weight is full up. The Scroll of Grease we'll put on Astarion here. And I think that's about it. We do have 2 potions of invisibility, so we'll split these. And we'll send one over to Astarion. And I think that's good for now. Just make sure. Yep. Okay. So yeah, that skeleton's partially hidden. It does not show up on the alt key. So you always want to remember that it's there when you go through this. Okay, so some more camp supplies over here. Okay, we have another wrecked cart. Doesn't look like there's anything that we can pick up off the ground here. We do have some more camp supplies. And again, we're just taking our time moving down here. In unexplored areas, you want to do short movements. Okay, so we're going to toggle the group and move him out of the way. We're going to take Astarion, who has guidance. Move him up. Okay, and he found this rock here. Right now, he's not going to have the strength to move it very far, so we'll move our Barbarian back up here. Have him move it. You can see that there's a bloodstone underneath it.
A hero at heart.
Okay, so we just had Will pick it up, and now we can toggle the group back together. Okay, now down here you can see under the bridge we have a couple of skeletons. We definitely want to search them.
Soldiers at rest.
Okay, another potion of speed.
I bet those bones have some stories to
Not
tell.
entirely sure who does and does not have those. We'll sort that out here in a second.
Whoever they were, their equipment's no use to them now.
Okay, we do have some scale mail and a longsword. And continuing on this way here. Okay, we come to the end of the road. Right? So, looking at what we picked up, we did pick up scale mail. We don't have any use for it. So, Will's going to end up selling it. We do already have a longbow here, so we don't need another longbow. We can send these camp supplies off. And yes, so we have 2 potions of speed here, 2 potions of speed here, 2 on Shadowheart. So that's good. So sending that one to Shadowheart was the correct location we wanted to send it. Okay, we do also need to split some of these off. We're going to leave 7 there. We're going to split some of these up. Put 2 of them here. Able to split these again. Put 1 here. Put 2 here. I think that's fairly good for now. Okay. Now we can head back.
Moving ahead.
Let me just make sure. Okay. So we'll just head on back now. Okay, and now we can head up to the Tollhouse proper. Okay, so we're going to head across the bridge here. Okay, so sitting here, we can pick up some of this stuff if we want, but nothing that's very valuable. But we can do some searching here.
Dead gnolls. And is that sulfur I smell?
Okay, so nothing really important there. We can see that there are some dead gnolls
Anything of use?
up here on the bridge. Okay, so we do have some dead adventurers here as well. So we'll send this off to the camp. And we can do some searching of some other stuff here on the bridge. Okay. Nothing much else going on. We do have some piles of bones that we can look through. And some other things here. Okay, so we can go search over here. We do have a severed foot. Always fun to find those. And a lot of camp supplies. Okay, so looking around the back here of the Tollhouse, you can see we have a back exit here, as well as a ladder that takes you up to the second floor. We also have, and the camera's stuck, so we'll just do this. So we do have a raised porch area, but you see we also have Rurik sitting out here. So we'll go talk to Rurik, and we can see that all of these are friendly encounters. So nothing to be worried about when you get into this area. Everything is free to search. And we'll talk to Rurik.
You won't get any further this way, friend. Road's blocked up ahead.
Rockfall in the ravine. Perfect spot for an ambush. I killed the biggest, ugliest one myself. My friends inside took care of the rest.
Okay, so Rurik's been in the fight here and is one that's responsible for killing these gnolls. So that might be what the toll collector was running from, was this attack by the gnolls as well. But you kind of also start to wonder, what's the deal with Karlach then? How did he say that people up here at the Tollhouse were doing bad things when they were the ones that were fighting the gnolls? Well, you'll get more of an explanation of that as we go through this encounter. So down here around the back, we have some more stuff that we can search.
It's worse than gnolls out there.
Nothing we need to worry
Okay,
about.
with
How about a dragon? Would that worry you?
I'd give it a bloody good fight, that's for sure.
okay, so you can hear him talking inside.
A dragon is bad gas.
Okay, severed arms, pile of bones. Got a knife here that we'll be able to sell. Severed legs. Okay, and then you're back around the backside of the Tollhouse here. So let's go ahead and make our way inside the Tollhouse. At least up here onto the top, and we can search this pile of bones real quick. Okay, nothing, and then we have a rib cage over here which we can search. You're not going to find it. It's in early access. Anyway, but again, like I talked about last episode, don't take it for granted that just because you don't find anything here that you won't find it in the full version. So now in here you can see that we have Anders, we have Trin, and we have Cyrel back here. We also have a refugee that we can cast Speak with the Dead on. But for now, we'll go in here and we'll just talk to Anders and see what's kind of going on with this area here.
At ease, friend. The Gnolls hit us hard, but this place is still safe. It's under Tyr's protection. Save your praise. The fight was a disaster. We lost 2 men to the Gnolls, and they weren't even our target. In truth, we could use some help. Our mission is holy, but we need to rest. We're paladins of Tyr, sworn to protect those in need. He sent us here to hunt a devil. Kill the fiend for us, and we'll reward you well. I wish we could, but we've been hunting for more than a 10-day without rest. It doesn't matter who strikes the killing blow as long as justice is done. She has the form of a tiefling, with a single horn, but she's an infernal being, straight out of the 9 hells.
You recognize the description. The wounded tiefling you met by the river.
She slaughtered countless refugees. Yesterday she butchered an entire family. The mother had been pregnant.
It could be the work of a devil, but they mostly collect souls through cunning rather than carnage.
Okay, so your religion check here is kind of giving you a hint that what he's describing probably was not the work of Karlach. And Karlach is obviously saying that she didn't do anything bad. So you're trying to figure out now whose side to take in this confrontation. You can take either one. It's your playthrough. You can decide what to do. I am going to be siding with Karlach, but I'm not going to let them know that I know who Karlach is at this point.
I understand. But if you see the fiend, be on your guard. She's dangerous.
Okay. So now I have some interactions I can do here. The first thing I'm going to do is start searching around. None of the stuff in here is marked as steel. So you can just pick up all the stuff that you see laying around. Search the burlap sack, nothing in it. There are some books. Okay, and we can search the cupboards here. Send off the camp supplies. Pitcher of beer. Always good. Everybody likes beer, right? You can search the desk. Okay, and then we can start searching the rest of the interior of this. Some burlap sacks for us to look into. Okay, we do have another book over here. Okay, so nothing else there. We do have a wooden hatch here. And remember, the toll collector was talking about a basement that was locked. That is the hatch that the key unlocks. Okay, so we'll go ahead and talk to Trin.
If you want to go poking around in the cellar, be my guest. Plug your nose first, though. Corpse, half rotted to mush. Must have been down there a 10-day or more. It was a tollhouse. By the time we arrived, it was more like a slaughterhouse. There's more monsters than coin moving down this road. There's a locked door down the hatch. Doesn't look like anyone's managed to get in. If there's any gold left, that's where it'll be.
Okay, so she's basically telling you that downstairs there's probably some stuff to go look for. So, Cyrel's a trader, so we are going to be able to sell our items here, which is exactly what we want to do. But first, let's go ahead and loot everything that we can down here. And then we'll do all of our selling all at once. So, let's just continue looting here on the inside and
Just another crate.
see if we can come up with anything else. Okay, so there's a war pick. Some padded armor. Okay, armors are always expensive. Good to sell. Okay, more camp supplies, always good to have. Send all of those to your camp immediately. Okay, holding out, we have a supply pack up here. And sometimes I hate the camera work here. Okay. To get up there, it took him, that was up on the mantle above the fireplace. To go loot it, he walked out, walked up the stairs, onto the second floor, jumped down to here, and looted it through the wall. Yeah, I love this game sometimes. I love this game. Yeah, sometimes, like I say, the pathing to items is just a little strange. Sometimes it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And we are picking up some interesting weapons in here. They're all regular weapons. We did get another greatsword here, which is always good. Remember that greatswords, we want to keep at least one of them for the Masterwork Weapon quest. Okay. And that looks like it's it. So now let's cast... Yeah, we have a green outline here, so let's cast Speak with the Dead. On the dead refugee here.
Maybe I should... Innoc de concilio.
The corpse regards you lifelessly.
Why, my children, good. Those I was careless. The pact power. Fear to survive. Fallen Lady Zarian.
The spell's power wanes. You can ask no more questions.
Okay, so now you're learning a little bit more about this, and finding out that it might not have been the group here with Anders that actually killed the Gnolls. It might have been somebody else. So you're starting to get more and more suspicious of the group here.
That corpse smells ripe. Enough time for its killer to have moved on.
Okay, so we're going to talk to Astarion here. He's got something to say.
I understand they're a sorry lot, but they're also not our problem. They made the wrong deal, but they got themselves into that mess. They can get themselves out. Yes, danger. We have our own problems. Don't waste time chasing theirs.
Okay, nothing much there. Let's go ahead and take care of some looting, and then we do have a vault door over here that's locked. And you're going to find a lot of camp supplies down here. All of these camp supplies, even for a Barbarian playthrough, are going to be more than enough to get you through early access. Okay, we have a studded shield. Some more crates to search. And based on the earth, or the propensity to find camp supplies, it seems like even if you're wanting to rest a lot more than normal, you're not going to have a problem finding enough camp supplies to be able to make those rests work. So, we did pick up another scimitar. And Will has a rapier. He's not able to use scimitars, I don't believe. Yeah, he can only use rapiers. But Astarion, he can't use scimitars either. I gotcha. Okay. So the second scimitar is not going to allow you to do anything with it. Scimitars, as we've seen, scimitars are 1d6 weapons that are both light and finesse. So they're like short swords that we have here are also 1d6 that are light and finesse. They're some of the best dual wielding weapons if you don't have the dual heavy weapon fighting feat. So always make sure of who I'm looking at. Rangers have martial weapon proficiencies and can utilize any weapon types, but they can also dual wield. So it's also these are a great choice for rangers and that sort of stuff. Everyone's gonna go back to the inimitable Drizzt Doerden from the previous, or Droerden, the drow from the previous iterations of Baldur's Gate, and the scimitars that he carried, dual wielding scimitars that were magic as well, which were some of the best weapons in games. But we'll go ahead and read the journal here, and basically let you know what's what's been coming through here. So some farmers came through. They were wounded, warned them to leave. They sent off a courier to get extra guards. More farmers came through. They were carrying their own dead, and they were preparing to abandon the post at this point. So kind of gives you an idea about what was happening here. Okay, and then we have some more crates and that sort of stuff that we can search over here. Okay, I think we need another potion of speed on Will. More camp supplies. And more camp supplies. Oh, he drank some. Okay. Must have misclicked on something there. That's alright. Gonna wear off here. Okay, and we'll send the last of these camp supplies off. And then we can talk about this vault door. So it is locked, you can't pick it, you have to have the key. We do have the key, however. Going to split the group here, and I'm going to send Astarion in with guidance.
My fortune. Tread carefully.
Okay, and he's going to be finding
Someone doesn't like visitors.
some vents in here, and we've had our run-ins with these type of things before, right? So you can either disarm them, or you can cover them up with all of these boxes that are laying around here
Oh dear. Someone's left
to prevent them from doing whatever they might want to do. Okay. So actually on these, I'm going to send this one back to... I'm going to pick up that poison myself. Okay, all of these are going to go to Will. Sell. And some more camp supplies. Okay, we do have some broken padded armor here. Also a broken club sitting up there. Nothing else. Okay, so his perception failed. His guidance also ran out. So let's not go that way. Actually, let's just finish looting this little area here first. Okay, there's a bunch of stuff down here to loot. Now we'll head back. For some reason, they don't want to jump over that vent. I don't know why. Okay, so Astorian's overloaded. As he's carrying this armor, so some of this is going to have to move over here as well. Okay. And then we're going to have...
Someone there.
All right.
And look at him, he has disadvantage on dexterity and charisma checks because he drank that alcohol, and the timer is not going away. So... Okay, we'll send Shadowheart over here. Okay, so she was able to find it. And we'll go ahead and continue looting. Okay. Do have a couple of crates on this side.
Looks like
She was able to find that. That's good. Okay, more camp supplies, and also up on top of this, you can see we have a light hammer. And we can pick up. Now continuing on with our looting spree. We do have a bunch of wine up here that she can pick up. Have more wine down here in this crate. And some more wine sitting here. I think there's one more. Yep. Okay. Search the trunk. She can take some poison for weapons as well. And that's going to be it for her. So, we have an iron gate here, which we can open up. Still has guidance active. That timer is not going down. There must be something
Best avoid that
fairly broken at this point, because some of these timers are not going down. He's just got permanent guidance. Okay, some more padded armor. Camp supplies. We'll look through these vases here. Okay, doesn't look like there's much else. Open crate. Well, that's going to will to sell, and this is why you want to loot this bottom area. Looks like will's completely full up before you go up and trade. Just so that you have all of this stuff available to you when you deal with Cyrel. So, send all these to camp.
Looks like a trap there.
Good, she's finding all of the traps down here too. Don't need Astarian to do it all. Okay, so after you finish this basement, you're not going to need any more camp supplies. So you could stop looting them after this basement, in all honesty. You just won't need this many camp supplies. But I'm just the loot everything type of person. It's just who I am. So you'll see me continue on with the looting spree as I go through the playthrough. just is what it is. So there's a mug of beer here I can pick up.
Looks like a trap there.
Another pitcher of beer right next to it. Okay, then I can search some of this stuff here in the middle. Okay, so I think that equally distributes some antitoxins and things like that. So we've got a carafe of wine.
There's something more to this.
Okay,
What am I missing?
and moving something up here, the chair clicked, and you can see you can interact with the stone chair. So it's interesting that it clicked. We'll come back and deal with that here in a second. Then over here we have some more burlap sacks we can search.
Looks like a trap there.
Okay, and inside this crate we have more wine. Okay, and these large bottles, they are worth something. Just not a whole lot. Okay? So we have 2 chairs here that are able to be interacted with. So we're gonna have Shadowheart go sit in one and it clicks. We're going to have Will go sit in the other. And it also clicks, and when it does, it opens up this back area.
Have a lot on my mind and, well, in it.
Okay. So, now, when you're looking at this, you can see I'm going to move Astarian up here. You can see that there's something here on the ground. Okay? That something is not very good for you. So we're going to cast Guidance. We're going to slowly move our way up here. Okay? And we do not want to step on that. Okay, inside here there are more traps. That's what that perception check failed to perceive, is that there are more traps in here. More of the vents. Okay, and really at this point you just don't want to... Who still has space? Not very much. Okay. So, holding Alt, you can see we have a lot of stuff in here that we can loot. And there's a Great Axe +1 that we definitely want to take. Okay, and we're going to loot the rest of these weapons over here. We can loot this crate. There are some potions here. Gold. Okay, there's a plate here worth 50 gold. The wooden chest. 126 more gold in it. We have some gloves. Okay, there's a helmet. Great sword. Shield. Another shield. Okay, and yes, I know I'm heavily encumbered at this point, but it doesn't really matter for me. Okay, so we can pick up a book and search this chest. 2 bloodstones, worth a lot of money. More camp supplies. Okay. And then we have a bunch of vases here. You want to be very careful when you're searching these vases, because your character is going to want to move to get into a position to be able to search these things. And you're getting really close to this plate here on the floor. And at some point it becomes not worth it. Okay, to search anymore. So we managed to search everything here in the room. So we're just going to move here. Now we're not going to be able to jump very far because we are heavily encumbered. So we're going to move some of this stuff over to Dorval here, just to remove the heavy encumbrance. And now I should be able to jump at least. So we're going to move here. Okay. And move myself out of the way. And now that I'm here, I'm going to bring everybody back together. And that door is going to close as soon as I remove them from the chairs.
At the ready.
So now I can basically head back upstairs, because we are done looting down here. And now we just want to sell off our inventory as quickly as we can, because we are seriously overloaded, so we can talk to Cyrel here.
Need any supplies? We've less mouths to feed since the gnolls jumped us. Two. Both stalwarts of Tyr, sworn to uphold justice. Luck had nothing to do with it. This is our calling, and Tyr is watching over us.
Okay, so he doesn't have a whole lot of gold here to utilize, so we want to make sure that we're giving up as much weight as we can to free up that carry weight, while at the same time making sure that we sell cheaper items so that we're not taking all of her gold away. So we definitely can sell some of these great swords here. A bunch of the weapons are going to fit this category, but we don't necessarily want to sell things like the silver necklaces and that sort of stuff yet. So we do have some things, and again, send to camp still doesn't work in the playthrough, so we'll go ahead and sell off. We are going to keep one great sword. Oh, there are two different skins for great swords here. Interesting, I've never noticed that before. I think I'm going to keep this one and sell this one. So the shields, all of this sort of stuff is going to free up a bunch of carry weight. Okay, and then the rest of this stuff I can send over to Will. And I can clear out all of this inventory. Will's going to be... and these, I can't send anything to camp yet. Okay, so now Historian can sell off some of these heavy carry weight items as well. Okay, and we'll keep the metallic gloves for now, and we'll go ahead and move a bunch of this other stuff over to Will. Okay, and I think that's good. So now for Shadowheart, again, selling off this heavy carry weight stuff. Moving things to Will. Because Will's going to free up carry weight when he sells off a bunch of the weapons that he's carrying and that sort of stuff. So yeah, let's go ahead and get rid of a bunch of this heavy carry weight stuff that Will is carrying. Okay. And we can sell this plate off, and we can start selling off the armors. Now the armors are expensive. So, but they weigh a lot. So we want to kind of get rid of them, but have Will sell those to get the most money he can out of those. Because we're going to be running real low on gold here that we're able to utilize. Okay. So all the rest of this stuff is fairly easy for Will to carry, but we still have some padded armors. I don't know if that works. It does not work. Okay, so we still have some padded armors that Will can sell off here. 33 apiece. Okay, there's nothing in here that we really want from Cyrel, so I think that's going to end.
Hope you can make good use of it.
our trading for now, and let's kind of take a look at our inventory and see where we are. So let's clean some of this stuff up. Okay, so all the gold is going to Dorval. All the camp supplies are heading off to camp. So we do have a potion of invisibility here. We do have an antitoxin, which is good for her. We do have some basic poisons. They're also good for her. The rest of this is just items that she's carrying just for now with the padded armors. Okay, so we have more camp supplies here. Get rid of all those. Okay, so we have 3 potions of speed, 2 potions of speed, 2 and 2, so that's a good distribution. Let's get rid of these camp supplies. And the rest of this is just stuff that he's going to sell at some point. But we don't have to clean any of that up. We'll just leave it there for now. We did get another set of metallic gloves, so we might as well put those here. And she can just carry these things for now. Well, Will might actually be able to carry them, because these are high-value items. Yeah, he can carry them without any problems. So, with the Great Axe +1, I think he can probably carry that as well. Yes, he can. Okay, and Astarion doesn't need to carry any gold. Okay. So, where are we on disarm kits? So, we don't need nearly that many disarm kits. We're going to leave him with 2 disarm kits. So, the other 5 can go over here to be sold. And you can see that they're heavy. It just frees up a lot of carry weight for him when we get rid of those things. So, he's also got a potion of greater healing, which I think we're going to move back over. No, that's fine that he keeps it. Everybody's going to end up getting 1 of those, at least, throughout the playthrough. Oh, I think that's fine. Okay. So, now we've cleared out as much as we possibly can. And we've learned that we really don't want to deal with this group here. And Karlach wants them dead. So, now we are going to kind of initiate this combat here. Search these wooden barrels out here, and we're going to head upstairs. Okay, so there is some more stuff to search, but right now, once we get everybody up here, going to split the group and start moving people around a little bit. So I am going to open this door, and I'm going to put my Barbarian here. Okay. Going to trigger things off with Astarion. So I'm going to move him over here. I'm going to take Shadowheart and put her here at the top of the stairs. Or at the top of the ladder, I mean. And then Will, for now, is just going to be kind of sitting out of the way. And I'm going to trigger this fight again with Astarion here. And I'm going to trigger it by attacking Anders. Okay. Okay, so I don't have any advantage just sitting there like that, but I do this way when I'm hidden. Okay, so he can pop out and get an attack on Anders right off the bat. So that's what we're going to go ahead and do.
You sought a fight, and now you have one.
Okay. So, put everybody into combat because nobody was hidden. So now we have some options here. So, basically the way we chose here, there's only two ways to get up here. One is this ladder on the outside here, and the other one is to come in through this upper walkway, which is a ladder right down here. So when Rurik went, you can see he's moving to go up that ladder, and he's going to come down this way here. So with Will, that gives us an opportunity here to move into a position to cause some damage to anybody who wants to come up this way here. So we're going to cast Blade of Daggers here. We don't necessarily want it to hit the ladder. We don't want to get rid of the ladder as a way to get up here. So I think we'll cast it right here. Okay, so the ladder's still there, so they can still climb up there, which is good. And now I'm going to kind of move Will kind of into this corner here. Okay, now my imp is not in combat. So I'm actually going to fly down here. And wait for Cyrel to come out. Okay. So I'm going to kind of block this ladder, so to speak.
Forever dauntless.
Okay, and that's going to end his turn, because he can't reach anybody else with his hex right now. So we're going to end the turn. Now we're going to get Trin to get off her attack. She's ranged, so she's probably going to move out of the way and try and attack Astarion. Okay, so she's going to climb up and immediately run into the cloud of daggers. Cast Hunter's Mark on Astarion. So now what I can do is dash my way in here. I am going to Frenzy, first of all. Okay. So now if I dash, I'm going to give up my action, and I'm not going to be able to do anything since both my action and my bonus action will have gone on this turn. But I am going to dash so that I can get lightning charges for next time. So I'm going to dash, but I'm not going to dash all the way in there. Okay, because Anders is still going to go next, and he's going to come up this ladder as well. So I kind of want to move him in here just to get lightning charges, but not get him into a spot where he's close enough to be attacked by Anders. Okay, so he's got lightning charges now, which is good. And you can see he now also, after he dashed, is able to jump. Okay, because of those gloves that we picked up, which gives him the ability to jump here without utilizing an action or anything like that. But for now, I'm going to end his turn, and Anders is going to probably... Ah, interesting. Okay, so Anders came up top by jumping from the ground up here. He must have a good strength score. Okay, so he does. He's got a +3 to his strength, so he's able to jump up here from the bottom, where the other characters aren't. So, but that doesn't really matter very much. I can do a melee sneak attack against Anders at this point, so I'd prefer not to do it that way. Why is he only going that way to do it? Okay, well, whatever. we need to get the sneak attack off. Oh, great. And it didn't give me enough movement to do it. Okay, here we go. Right? 2 big 10-point hits. Now we're also going to use our... We don't need the healing here, but we are going to bite him. Okay? It does damage, causes the bloodless, but also gives him the happy trait, which gives him that +1 bonus to everything that he does. And now we can again do an offhand attack. Okay, so you see after all of that, he had 38 hit points to start, and he's now got 10. So, Astarion is able to cause a lot of damage to single-point targets. It's actually pretty impressive how much he can do. So now Cyrel's going to get a chance, and she's going to want to try and move. Okay, so she moved up top. Perfectly fine. We can do that. Let's see if the imp... Okay, so it can't right now, so let's go to Shadowheart first. Now, Shadowheart is... With Mirror Image here, there's going to be a relatively low chance to hit with anything. But Guiding Bolt is going to be a better opportunity here to hit. Okay, so it missed, but it did take out one of the images.
Heading there.
We'll move her out of the way, and now let's see if I can get my imp up here. Okay. See if I can get my imp into a position to enter combat here using a sting. Okay, so did cause some poison damage as well, but again, I'm not going to abuse the imp. For some reason, that's not entering the imp into combat, so I'm not going to abuse it. So now that Shadowheart is done here, she did not cast Bless. I actually wanted her to cast Bless. Okay. Okay, so Rorik Cat threw something at us here. Or Runic threw something at us. So now Will... I think the goal here is going to be to try to kill Anders. So we are definitely going to hex Anders here. Okay, and now we're going to try Eldritch Blast. Okay, and it missed. Okay. So Trin is now going to get a chance here. To get an attack. Okay, missed. So now what we want to do is move in here and start causing as much damage as we can. So Anders is going to be the next to hit, and we certainly do not want to allow Anders to hit. So trying to think how I want to do this here, because I can dash, still use a Frenzied Strike on him, then I can jump back this way. But I think what we're going to do instead, because Rurik's going to hurt. It's going to hurt when he hits. So I'd say we just move over here and see if we can kill him. We're going to try a main hand attack first. That's only a 40% chance to hit. Okay, good. So now we also got the bonus attack from Great Weapon Master. Okay. So I can use my bonus action here to get back this way. And now I'm going to move into here and see if I can get them to waste their attacks on me at this point. Okay, so now Astarian's here. So he can get off a ranged attack here, but Trin is going to be the next one to go, so we want to try and attack her instead. Oh, great. Didn't need that. So let's go ahead and cunning action dash. Gonna use one of my bonus actions. That'll get him close here. And I can do an offhand melee attack. At least get some damage in. Some more on Trin before she gives her attack. Oh, that wasn't Trin we were fighting. It was Cyrel that needed to go, that was going to go next. Okay. So now Shadowheart is going to move in here, and shove is a bonus action. So why is she too heavy to shove? Interesting. Well, I'm going to cast Bless over here to increase his attack again. Got all the bonuses that he's got going on here. And then it's a little strange that you can't shove Cyrel. That's rather interesting. Okay, so that's going to end her turn, and now Rurik is going to be able to get a hit off, and these two hits are going to hurt. They're going to really hurt. He missed, and he only got one. Okay, so he got his offhand hits in, but that's it. So that was actually excellent. So I'm going to move Will in here. Going to reapply Hex. And mirror image. Okay, so that's not a concentration. So it doesn't really matter what we hex here, because we're not going to be causing any issues here within. And now we want to try and get rid of Trin here if we can. Perfect. Okay, so that's going to end his turn, and now my Barbarian can get in here with everything he's got. So he's now up to a 60% chance to hit with both lightning charges and bless, you can see up there at the top. So he's going to make a reckless attack to start off with. That's an 84% chance to hit now. Okay. Now he's going to use his frenzied strike. He's got 3 hit points left. So the pommel strike is going to kill him if it hits at 84%. That's a bonus action. My frenzied strike is also 84% chance to hit, so I might as well do that. But I can also... I wonder... Okay, so he's too heavy to throw. So let's just go with a frenzied strike here. And end things. And now we can get him closer to the fight. Okay. And now Astarian gets a chance. Okay. So just a regular attack's a 70% chance to hit, and if it hits, it's going to get rid of the second mirror image. Okay, let's see if we can get him closer. So we can. Now, can he shove? Nope, still too heavy to shove, so we're just going to get the 2 attacks in here. Okay. So that should have gotten rid of the mirror images, but it didn't. So now she's going to get a chance to strike here. Hey, Acid, I'm not too worried about. She healed herself. That's not going to help her. Okay, let's see if we can do a concussive smash here just for the heck of it. Okay. Well, now she's dazed. And Will can reapply his hex. Again, it's not going to matter which one we hex at this point. And try his Elder's Blast. Missed. Okay, now this is going to be... going to be an issue. If I can see how close I can get. Okay, so I got a 50% chance to hit because my lightning charges have worn off. Okay, so that missed. That did not. Okay. So it updated our journal with Hunt the Devil. And so we killed Anders and his band. Karlach will want to hear the good news about that. Picking up some other things. Will told us he's looking for a goblin named Spike. We also learned about saving Mayrina when we talked to the brothers when they were dealing with Auntie Ethel. And the missing shipment we learned by talking to the dead down there at the caravan. Okay. So everybody's a little bit hurt at this point, and we do still have both of our rests. Will's, we obviously need to use it for Will because both of his spells are out. His spell slots are used. But for now, let's go ahead and do some searching here. And all that stuff that we sold to Cyrel, we can now get it back. Okay. So that's what happens when you sell, and it's not... yeah, it is all the stuff that you got from him. So we're way over our carry weight here again. So let's try and equal some of this out. Okay, so that's too much. Okay, that's good. So now let's start moving some of these other items over here, and we're probably going to remain heavily encumbered, but we can send some of this stuff to our camp. Okay, we did pick up some holy water as well. Okay, so I don't think we'll be able to free up enough carry weight. Oh, it's that holy water. Put Shadowheart over the edge there. So 48.4. So 48 for carry weight. Trying to see if we have something. Okay. That's good. Now we'll load up Will with as much as he can carry. Nope, that greatsword's going to stay there. Okay, so just a little bit left. Okay, so he's overloaded by just a tiny bit. Need 0.2 pounds, so the books are probably what I'll focus on here. I don't need to carry the books. Yeah, I'll just drop this book on the ground. So now everybody's good. Okay. And we're going to have to come back and loot the rest of this. But that's not necessarily a problem for us. Based on where we are, the nearest waypoint to us is the Blighted Village down here. But that's not that far for us to travel. So we can go ahead and head back to Sylvanus' Grove and sell off these items and then come back and Sorry, was just looking at something. Then we can come back and loot the rest of that down there. So we are going to take a short rest. Get everybody's hit points back and get Will back his spell slots. And we'll just go in here and sell all these items off real quick. And like I said earlier, that's why you want to sell to Cyrel. You can take all of her gold, and then at the same time, once you end up killing her, you get all of those items back. And you can sell them again. So it's worth it, just from that standpoint, to load up on everything you can loot in there, then take on that encounter.
Need anything else?
And get all your stuff back.
Remember, you're not the only one in need.
Okay, so let's see if there's anything interesting in here again that we want to pick up. Doesn't look like there's anything really interesting here. Got a lot of gold though, so let's just go ahead and start with Will and start selling off all of this stuff. Oh. We're going to go through his gold at a pretty good clip. With Will. See, we've already taken down quite a bit of his gold. So here we can send all of this to Will as well and have him sell all of this. Okay, that's it. Everything else is going to stay there. Shadowheart has some more stuff to send to Will. More high-priced armors. And I need to go back because I think I moved my trap disarm kits onto Will. Does Astarion still have any trap disarm kits? He does not, so I did move those there. So we're going to send those back to Astarion. Okay, so he has 2 of those. He doesn't need the robes. Okay. Then the last of the items here to send to Will, him to sell. Okay. He's got the very heavy great axe already, so we don't need to that great axe +1 that we already have. I don't think we need. This is 1d12 plus 13. This is okay, so this is more. So the great axe +1 needs to go. You drove one, then the very heavy great axe can go back to Will to sell. Don't want to keep that great axe there. Okay. Sorry for the tedium here. We're just kind of maximizing our resale value here. Okay, so the very heavy great axe gets sold. Okay. And we've just got this last set of stuff here for Will to sell. Then we can head back, continue our looting, and go from there. So this is the last of the stuff that we need Will to sell. I think everybody's got a helmet, don't they? Yeah, everybody's got a helmet. Okay. So we almost ran him out of gold. Just a little bit short. But I think that ends everything.
Sylvanas be with you.
So now let's head back down. Now that we're in here, head back down to Damon and see if he has any rare items left that we can pick up for our party. We didn't have enough gold to pick up some things from him previously, but we've got a lot of gold now. So let's see if he has anything that we want to buy.
Looking for steel? I have, well, something close.
Okay, so we have another light crossbow +1, which would be a straight upgrade for Shadowheart. It would also put us, it'd be a straight upgrade for Astarion as well. Then we have the short sword +1, which would be a straight upgrade for Astarion's offhand attack. And we also have a scale mail +1, which would be a straight upgrade for Shadowheart. So I think we'll go ahead and we'll buy the scale mail +1. Whoops, and I didn't want her buying it. And I think we have enough to buy them both. We do. Okay. So everybody is going to get some straight upgrades out of this. Okay, so the short bow +1 can come off. We have the scale mail here, which is going to take her armor class from 18 to 19. We have a short sword +1, which is going to take his offhand attack to +8 attack bonus here. So 2 short swords in his hand. They're both +1. And then we have a light crossbow +1, which if we swap it out here, gives him a straight upgrade there, a bonus on the damage. So all of this stuff can then be sold. The short bow +1 can actually go to the camp. And trying to think. I don't think we have a use for the dagger +1. Get camp, and we certainly don't have any need for any of the armors with Lae'zel. But the short bow +1 would be a benefit for her ranged attack. And Gale doesn't need any of these three here, so we can just go ahead and sell those 3 things off.
I have, well, something close.
You sound like your father.
Okay.
Well, it was his caravan.
Alright, and I think that is all. Okay. So now that we're here, we're just going to fast travel back to the Blighted Village. And we're going to head north. Out of the village, back up to the bridge. Jump across the bridge and make our way back up to the Tollhouse to continue looting up there. Because there are still some really good items to loot off of the bodies. And then once we finish doing that, then we're going to head over to the cave. See if maybe we have enough time here to finish things up with some combat. Okay, so we're going to head over here to the east and head back to the Tollhouse real quick and just finish up this loot. We're also going to talk to Karlach again, because she's obviously going to be happy that we have killed Anders and his crew. Okay, so we're going to head up here and loot Rurik first. A couple of daggers we can send to Will to get ready to sell. An acid vial we'll send to Astarian, and some camp supplies. Okay. Then Trin. More stuff for Will to sell. Some camp supplies. And then... oh, so there's a bunch of stuff still left on the ground over here.
Blade at the ready.
From... guessing from Cyrel dying. Okay, and then Anders. Okay, so... Anders has the Sword of Justice.
A sword like this would certainly get Gale's attention.
Okay, so the Sword of Justice, we can look at it here. And... okay, good. That clears up his carry weight problem. So the Sword of Justice here is a decent sword. It's a great sword +1. And we're looking at it does 16 to 26. I do 16 to 29, but that includes the 1d4 fire damage. So this is a really good secondary weapon, so to speak, for a non-flaming weapon for Jorval to use. It's basically a great sword +1. So the Great Axe is also a +1 weapon, so 15 to 26, but that's just because the greatsword does 2d6 instead of 1d12. So this is actually better than the Great Axe +1 as far as a secondary non-flaming weapon goes. But at the same time, you saw something pop up there that said that Gale is very interested in the Sword of Justice. This is one of those items that Gale can absorb the weave from. And if we have other weapon options to utilize to do damage that are, the same or very close to what the Sword of Justice does, then we want to use the Sword of Justice and give it to Gale. And that's what we're going to do. So we're going to keep the Great Axe +1 as our backup weapon and give the Sword of Justice to Gale to absorb. Now it also comes with Tears Protection, which it's basically giving you Shield of Faith. So you can cast Shield of Faith with a bonus action, and it's going to last until your long rest. So until I give it to Gale, you can equip it. You can cast Shield of Faith. And right now, whoops, my armor class is 17. So I can now cast Shield of Faith, and it's going to last until long rest, but it's a concentration spell. Okay. And now my armor class is 19, and you can swap that out back to the Everburn Blade. So as long as I keep my concentration, I now have a 19 armor class. So it's a great weapon to have along with you. So until you have a need to give it to Gale, don't give it to Gale, is basically what it comes down to be. So utilize it as much as you can for as long as you can. And then when you need to give it to Gale to satisfy his need for weave, then you can give it to him. But until then, go ahead and use it. So we'll just kind of keep it in our inventory for now. We're not going to sell the Great Axe +1 at this point. We do want to keep it. And now we're going to head down and talk to Karlach. Okay, once everybody gets down here. Okay, Astarian's encumbered. Right. Move that over here. We'll split our group. We'll bring Astarion down here. Oh no, he got down here. Okay. Now we're gonna jump across here. Talk to Karlach.
Did you get the bastards? For now, but thank you.
Her mind touches yours. Gratitude, warmth, and relief. Then a light, sharper than the truest blade, brighter than a star. It fills you with awe, forcing you to your knees. And from within, a winged figure steps forward, graceful and terrible. She places her hand on your cheek and smiles as she carves her name across your chest.
Kua ad vosnam petrika.
Okay, we also want to take a switch here real quick, and we're going to use her to cast Healing Word on Karlach. Okay. Once Karlach's done, she's going to be able to heal herself. But we want to make sure we did that.
Zariel, fallen lady, defiled celestial, ruler of Avernus. I was her prisoner and her champion. She tried to break me. The paladins you killed were acting on her orders. She'll send more, and worse. Oh, I'm counting on it. I'll be ready for her. And the first step is to go home, to Baldur's Gate. I've got a score to settle. I could use the company, but until I've shaken Zariel off my back, I'd only put a target on yours. My advice? Stay away from the city. When I catch up with the fuckers who did this to me, the streets will run red.
Thanks. That was really starting to hurt.
Okay, so you can see her with us healing her. She's now able to walk off and head off toward the city. So you want to make sure you get a healing onto her at some point, just so she's able to get up and heal herself and take off. So looking at our journal, the Hunt the Devil quest is now complete. We found out that that the Paladins of Tyr were actually cultists serving Zariel. And remember that Zariel had pledged, or that adventurer had pledged himself to Zariel, that we spoke to after he was dead. So the Paladins had killed him. So that was another hint that they weren't really there to defend anybody at that place. They were just looking to kill Karlach and anybody associated with it. So, we did also pick up that the Sword of Justice has enough weave for Gale to consume, and we will be doing that at some point, just not right now.
Have to keep going.
That 19 armor class bonus is a big bonus, and you don't want to give it up. So, actually, for a second there, we were able to glimpse the undiscovered dirt mound here. But for now, we'll go ahead and head this way. Okay. Now here, we have a back way to get into an area. And there's a survivor's quest that goes along with it. This is actually the Find the Missing Shipment quest. So we have a back door to go in this way. We can also climb up this way and go around here. And this is where we're going to kind of explore next. We're going to head up this way and go look at the roadblock or the cave-in up here. It's not actually a cave-in, it's just a roadblock that was mentioned to us. And I did forget that there's a waypoint up here. So I could have made my fast traveling a lot easier when I was going to sell.
Bodies everywhere. Accident or sabotage?
Okay, so we again want to split the group here.
Miles, Fortior! Shouldn't have wished to live in more interesting times.
Okay, so he was able to find it. And let's see what's in the chest. Okay, so an Arrow of Lightning. Go to Astarian, we'll come back here and we'll group everybody back up. Okay, you can see from the map that that kind of clears out this area here. Right. So we can head up this way. Kind of get ready for what's here. Okay. I think we are going to end today's live stream with some combat here. Okay, so I'm going to hide everybody. There's an autosave, which is good. Okay, and I'm going to head up here. I'm going to break the group. And you can see that we have some gnolls down here. Okay. We also have another gnoll up here. And we're going to be very careful about how we go about doing this. But we are going to take our Barbarian up here. And we're going to initiate this combat right here on the Flesh Gnar. Okay. So we're just going to go up and give him a reckless attack right now. Only a 50% chance to hit, but it is what it is right now. Okay, and that killed him flat out.
Hear that? Someone's fighting the gnolls. We should help.
Don't be a fool, lad. Shut your mouth and keep your head down. Leave the heroics to them that don't value their own skin.
Okay. So they're all surprised. So now I have some opportunities here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to rage. And I'm going to head down there to get into the fight. But before I do that, I want to get Bless from Shadowheart. So I'm going to move Shadowheart up here. Okay, and while I'm at it, going to move everybody else up here just for a second, so that when Shadowheart casts Bless, I just get everybody involved. Okay. Okay, now that's going to put her in combat, but that's perfectly fine.
Time for a little death.
Now, as far as Astarian goes, I don't know if I've never tried to jump him up here. Ooh, but I can jump up here. Do I need? I don't even need to jump to get up there. Okay. Now let's look at what's going to happen after Jorval goes. So we've got Flind is going to be the next one to attack. So we probably want to deal with Flind. But let's go ahead now that we're here. We're going to dash to get lightning charges. Okay, and we are going to move down here.
the ready.
Okay, we're gonna frenzy. Okay, and that's gonna end his turn. I can jump now if I want, but there's no real point in it. At this point, everybody's going to be coming after me. These two are going to be doing ranged attack, or these three are going to be doing ranged attack. These three are going to come after me for melee. This one's going to come after me for melee as well. So, but we wanted to be able to get close to Flind. Okay, and now that we're here, I can see about getting Astarion into this fight with a sneak attack. Okay, that joined battle on Flind, which is what we wanted. Now we have Will. And for Will, what we want to do is get him in a position where he can cast Blade of Daggers on this group down here and hopefully kill both hyenas. Okay, so we killed both hyenas, got big damage in on the Gnoll Fang, so that's what we wanted to see. And now the Imp.
Battle favors the fearless.
Okay, we can drag him out this way. We're going to take him all the way around the back and try and attack this Gnoll Fang. He should be able to get there. Okay. Yeah, looks like he can get there without any problems. Okay, so managed to kill him, and again, I'm not going to abuse the Imp here. Okay, so I think that's it. We're going to get Flind to get an attack off, but that's fine.
With a shock of psychic pain, the pack leader's mind clamps onto yours. You see yourself through her eyes, a pulsing red cluster of organs. Feast. No. Voice has forbidden this meat. Gnolls see your whole world as a meal. This voice is acting as a leash, but it won't hold them for long.
As the symbol glows, power courses through you. Authority.
Okay. So, the gnolls here are being driven by something. They're being controlled by something. And you can see here, I can basically control this encounter, and I can drive them off. I can command them. And basically, you know, deal with this encounter however I want here. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to actually... I want to kill the gnolls here. So... but I do want to search her mind for the source of the voice.
The beast daubs the symbol of the Absolute on a cave. Deep, a tadpole struggles to assert control against the ravenous chaos of her mind.
Okay. So, now we have two more options here. or one more option, we can command her to devour the other gnolls. Okay? This is where things get really interesting. I've actually never done this in a playthrough, so I'm actually going to do it here just to kind of see how it works and what happens with it. So I would like to be able to kill the Gnoll Fang here. So I'm anxious to kind of see how it goes. But if I don't, I don't. If this turns the Gnoll into an ally, or turns Flind into an ally and I can't kill it, then it is what it is. But it's going to be kind of interesting if I can make it turn to my side here. Okay? When I use the tadpole, it's always a DC of 0, so it's going to succeed no matter what.
Sensing your presence, the Gnoll's tadpole writhes in ecstasy, echoing your command. Its host will feast on Gnoll flesh to control the hunger, to keep her teeth from your throat. Something stirs deep within you, hungry and alert. It's taking something you'll never get back.
Okay, so now Flind is now on my side, basically, throughout this. So we're going to go ahead and try and focus on the others here and see what we can do. So the next one's going to be this Gnoll Hunter down here at the bottom. Not going to be able to kill it.
Watch and learn.
Critical miss anyway. Good job. Thanks, Will. Appreciate it. He's going to get a ranged attack off. Okay, Seething Fury is a harsh deal. It really hurts. So we want to keep concentration on Bless. So we're going to try and keep Shadowheart out of the fight here a little bit. So we're going to just have her cast Guiding Bolt again. It's got to be at level 2 because she doesn't have any choice here. See what we can get for some damage here. Okay, so 14. That's good. But we do want to move her back out of the way. Okay, so Astarion, at this point, I think I have the height advantage. I do. And I also have advantage because of Guiding Bolt here, so I can kill this Gnoll Hunter straight out. Okay. Then I can Vampire Bite. Not enough action. Can't get there, so... Yep, can't get there. Okay, but I can dash. I've got 2 bonus actions, so I can dash. And then I can get down there.
Sounds like fun.
Okay. To give them the Bloodless trait. Or the Bloodless debuff. Which is now -1 to attack rolls, saving throws, and most ability checks, so... Okay, so now here... have some opportunities here, and I think I'm just going to go over and take my shot here. So Frenzied Strike is 50%, but my Reckless Attack is 75%. So I'm just going to go up and try that. Okay, that works. Now I do have a bonus attack from Great Weapon Master here. So let's head down here.
On my way.
I'm going to actually attack Flind with this. Okay, because I really... Flind has served its purpose right now.
She was still ravenous, her mind a hungry pit. The flesh of her pack wasn't enough to satisfy her.
Okay. So, this is interesting. So, you basically now have a straight wisdom check to try and command her to leave, or to dominate her mind and command her to feast on herself. This is not an Illithid tadpole thing. This is just a straight wisdom check to be able to do it. So this is kind of interesting. So it's a 10 DC. It can add a bonus here. Let's just see if we get it to work.
Her tadpole responds, thrashing violently, and the fragile tissue of her brain tears and splits. You taste the blood in her throat, feel it pooling in the cavity of her skull, but she still resists.
Okay, so you got to make another wisdom check here. This is probably going to be higher. Yep. Oh, a nat 20.
Your tadpole wriggles, contented, as she tears out her own throat.
What's that? By the gods, you're a sweet sight.
Are any of my crew still alive out there? This whole journey's been one grim sight after another. Gnolls, goblins, drow.
Risen Road's more dangerous than ever. You're the first friendly face we've seen since Eltergard.
We're bound for Baldur's Gate. Got some cargo to deliver. But we've a stop to make along the way. Thanks, but that won't be necessary. We'll find help at Joaquin's Rest. Listen, you look like you know how to handle yourself. You should meet my associates. We've got our own drinking spot by the tavern. Invitation only. Tell the fellow on the door. Little Serpent, Long Shadow. He'll take good care of you.
Okay. So, I have some options here on some things to do. So a wisdom check here.
Aye, the whole reason we're in this mess. Trinkets for some rich tosser in Baldur's Gate. He gets his shiny baubles. We get a handful of Taranths.
Taranths are the currency of the Zentarim, a network of merchants and mercenaries with few scruples.
You know who we are. Very clever. And you probably also know it's not smart to interfere with Zent business. This is the point when a clever lad like you accepts my gratitude and walks away.
Okay, so interesting. Not entirely sure what happens with this intimidation check. What it's meant to do. It's interesting. Let's see what it does. The 15 DC. And they both pass it. I've been getting some really good rolls today.
Fine. No need for more violence. I'll tell my associates everything was lost in the ambush.
The chest's all yours. Damn thing's sealed tighter than a duke's purse strings. So there's no point in trying to open it.
And no hard feelings, you hear? I'd have done the same if I were you. Business at the end of a blade is still business.
Ruthless bastard like you could make a name for yourself in the Zentarim. Make sure to drop by our hideout.
Okay. Interesting. So I haven't ever done that encounter that way before with Rugan. I love it. He goes out and he kicks the hunter. That's pretty funny. So yeah, an interesting encounter that way. So now I know what it is, or how it works. So we have the Shattered Flail here. So the Shattered Flail is interesting. It's a mace. And whenever you deal damage with it, you get healed for 1d6 hit points. However, it also gives you a mad trait, or it gives you a hunger trait where if you don't deal damage throughout the encounter, then it can drive you mad. And I don't think mad... Yeah, it doesn't tell you what the mad enchantment is, but it's a mace with a +2 enchantment, basically. So it's really interesting. It just has some interesting downside effects as well. So I'm going to give it to Shadowheart for now. Okay. And now we can continue on with the rest of this looting, and we need to talk to Astarion as well. Okay, so we can loot some stuff through the Viscera here, and let's talk to Astarion.
Well, we have their chest. Why haven't you opened it yet? Excellent. In your own time, then.
Okay, so we do have access to their chest, and we are going to open it.
What's next? This way.
And I'll be really anxious to see what the fallout of this choice is. So it also doesn't look like any of this is resetting. So let's go to Will. Put on the Rain Dancer and have him create water here. We could go in the back way, but there's no real point here. We can just put the flames out this way. And then put his rapier back on.
Well, lad, it's our
Okay, can't search that one. Let's go over here. I don't think any of the hyenas ever have anything on them. Okay, bunch more camp supplies, which is always good. And another thing that's going to be very interesting to us. And that's Speedy Reply. Take another look here, and then we'll go into our inventory and we'll look at what Speedy Reply does. Okay, so Speedy Reply is a scimitar, which is a light and a finesse weapon, but scimitars are martial weapons. And we don't have anybody that can use them. But if you have somebody like a ranger or somebody like that, basically whenever you hit somebody with the weapon, you gain momentum. And momentum is basically an increase in movement speed. I would love if this either wasn't a scimitar, if it was something, you know, like a short sword or something like that, or if I had martial weapon proficiencies on Astarion, because I'd be able to use that to increase my movement speed and really be able to get my way around the battlefield quite a bit. throughout this. So, but at this point, I don't have anybody who needs to wield a scimitar, so it's not really worth me using or keeping or anything like that at this point. But it is a really interesting item to have in most playthroughs, I would say. Oh. Okay, so now head down in here. And we have some Alchemist Fire that we can pick up.
Well, lad,
curious.
It's our lucky day after all.
I don't feel lucky.
Okay, we have some more over here
Half digested, and you're still alive.
that we can pick up.
Lucky.
And I think what we're going to do, and this is the back way that we were looking at earlier. You can come in. You can actually come into this encounter through the back. All of the gnolls will be out here. And you can, if you're lucky, you can position some of your characters up here on the high ground before the combat even starts. And the flames out here, they will have to move through to come and get to you. Now, there is kind of a glitch here where they tend to climb up this wall over here. And somehow they glitch from here all the way down to here. So it can provide you with some interesting protections, so to speak. And you will join the fight with Rugan and Ollie. They will join you in the fight to help out here, as opposed to the way we did it, which was more of a flanking assault, so to speak. But yeah, you can play it multiple different ways. This way, I just played it through a way I don't normally do, and learned some stuff about Flind and controlling them and having her fight for you, which was really interesting. So, like I say, multiple ways to play this. So, I think what we're going to do is at the start of next week, we're going to start off looting the Caravan Strongbox and see what that does for us and what it gives us. Because again, we've played this a different way where we've convinced or we've intimidated Rugan to give us access to this chest, and they didn't want to. They were part of an organization that was transporting it. So we'll kind of start off the live stream there, I think, next week. And see where that takes us. So we will give ourselves a save here. And that will work. Accept. Okay, so we'll start off with a save there, and we'll pick up right at that point where we left off and see what's in this chest that we just fought to liberate. So, again, as always, I'd like to thank everyone for joining me today. Without your support, none of this would be possible at all. This is Commander Jorval saying, until next time, fare thee well.